Hello and welcome to another Atlas build. This one is going to be featuring Goresh, the Tormentor. I think it's Tormentor. Anyways, so we just launched our Goresh out there, so you kind of see what his rage skill looks like, what he does there. In the animation. Boom. Absolutely man-moding it. So, for those who don't know who I am Atlas, 90 million power player, currently entered Season 3. I entered yesterday. I had to redo this video, so we're redoing this, and we are doing it on Goresh, the Tormentor. Yeah, I think it was right. So unfortunately I have yet to use him in PvP there, so I have 0 PvP kills. I've used a few 40 extra G2 tokens there that were saved from Season 2 here because he is a G2 hero, just so I could get him 5111. And even though I haven't got him 60, I'll be getting absolutely spammed with, you know, people asking me about the new heroes for builds and stuff like that for them, so I'm just going to pop this one out here quickly for you guys. So to start off here, we're just going to do the skill overview as always, and the rage skill, 1000 rage cost, Wild Blood. Goresh's Legion gains physical, keen, and resistance for 6 seconds. That's going to pop up a few times, so remember, keen. We're gaining keen, okay? The physical attack is 50%, and the resistance for damage taken is minus 15%, and the duration does scale up, so at max rank it is 6 seconds. So that's the rage skill there. The first passive, or the second skill here, is Steel Skin. Legion infantry units gain 5% defense and 5% more counterattack damage, scaling up to 20% and 15%. Now, do note that it says infantry, so this will not work if you're running cavalry units or any other unit type there, only infantry. The third skill here, Ruthless. When Legion launches a counterattack, they have a 50% chance to deal additional damage to up to 5 surrounding legions. Each additional legion targeted reduces damage taken by 15%. This effect can be triggered up to 2 times per second. Man, that's awesome. So skill damage factor when this one's maxed is 200 on that. And then the final skill here is the besieging skill here for being a rally. So when besieging cities or strongholds, the Legion gains 5% attack if the target garrison captain includes an infantry hero. For every other attacking Legion in the siege, this hero's Legion gains a 20% chance up to 60% to inflict cower. Counterattack damage minus 20%, scaling up to 40%, for 3 seconds when it launches a normal attack. So attack bonus there, you get the 20%, so because there's a stop period, and then you have up to 40% there, making him an excellent rally commander. So if you're in Season 3 and the garrison is Garwood, you're going to be getting that procced there. And then here, Total Domination. Wild Blood. So the awakening skill for Goresh here just affects his rage skill, so the difference is we get an extra 10% physical attack and an extra 5% damage taken reduction right there for the resistance. So that is Goresh's skills there. Now, just quickly noting that for the G2 tokens, so if you did save them, so you can save them, where are we? You can save them from Season 2 because he's a G2 hero. So he's a Generation 2 hero that gets released in Season 3. I know that's kind of confusing for some players, but we got the other G2 heroes last season, and now we're getting the infantry and mage ones. So if you did save these up all season, you can use these for your Goresh, Skogul, Tohar, Bertrand, all of that kind of stuff there. So that's absolutely juicy what you can do there. He is also the strongest lord, so it's hard to pick. I mean, a mage main like myself, you got the Tohar and you got the Goresh. Oh no, yeah, I know, kind of hurts your soul. Pick which one there. So next up, we're going to be popping into the talents. Now, one thing I do want to point out here is also on the rage skill, blood-soaked battle. For Skogul here, we are gaining vigor, HP plus 15%. Okay, so that's another buff specifically that we're going to be talking about when we come to the talents. So with the talent tree here, like our other talent page for our other infantry, I am going right, gaining the overall defense. Now, many players go with the march speed. You can go with the march speed. It's not a terrible thing to go with the march speed. If you need the extra march speed, take up the 6%. But what I've done is I've taken the overall defense there up into shield stability, and then we are going to go left first, and then right second. So I've gone up and taken the infantry defense, and then personally I've taken infantry speed, getting that extra 15% march speed, which is everywhere else it's 10%, so you get an extra 5%, so you get basically an extra 2 nodes for taking this. Now, if you do need more tanky stats, if you're fighting typically close to your city, you're not walking very far, you're not really chasing down enemies, then taking egoism, you can see 31.9% selected, getting that 4% hero skill damage taken reduction. This is absolutely golden to take as well. So it's between egoism, or if you need the march speed, you can take the march speed there. But this is going to be your bread and butter for your defense there. Next up, we are taking Adrenaline Rush. Your Legion deals 4% more normal attack damage, so we are scaling a bit of the normal. We got the physical attack bonus here. That's pretty much it for that one. So we are scaling a bit of damage here as well. Now, this is going to pop up a couple times here, but when your Legion casts a rage skill, they gain Shelter, increasing their defense by 4% for 3 seconds. This effect can be triggered once every 10 seconds. So every about, 3 to 4 rage cycles? 2 to 3 rage cycles? Every 2 to 3 rage cycles, this will pop. Okay? And then you'll be getting that extra defense there. Now, Furious is the other option. I don't know why there's even 9.8% selected here, because your Legion gains Keen whenever they gain a debuff effect. Well, we're already gaining Keen, so I don't believe those stack there. So that's why we're going to go up, and we're going to get the cool headed. Now, what I have seen for this, for many people have run pure left-hand side of the tree. I could see running pure right-hand side of the tree for the extra tanky stats, but I've been seeing some builds out there and some guides out there telling you to run pure left-hand side of the tree. Now, first off, we're just going to go over this. I'm taking All Conquering. Your Legion takes 4% less normal attack damage over, infantry units, and your Legion deal 1% more damage to cavalry units, and reduces your Legion march speed while increasing their attack. I don't really like those, so we're just taking this. And then I'm seeing a lot of people taking Generalist. Well, Keen, we're already gaining physical Keen, and you could gain the Keen there if you really wanted to. Shelter, we're gaining it right here. And then Vigor. Vigor, we're gaining right here. Vigor. So I don't understand why everybody's taking this point here. Instead, what I'm taking is I'm taking Last Word, just increasing our counterattack damage bonus of an extra 4%, because we are scaling that extra counterattack bonus, right? Counterattack, that's what this pair is all about. That's what they're focused on, is counterattack bonus. And then for the last stage, a lot of players are taking this encouraging dance, but from my experience so far playing with Goresh Skogul, is you have 6 seconds to pop the extra, your next rage cycle, right? You have 6 seconds to pop that, and I am finding typically I am popping it every 6 seconds. So I actually, on average, it's about 4 to 5 turns. So I'm even popping it before it comes off of cooldown. Like if it was 7 to 8 turns, then maybe you could look at, you know, trying to get this to pop your rage cycle a bit more. But right now I'm taking flank protection, and now we're getting into season 3, and more people are going to have cavalry units, more people are going to have infantry units. There's going to be more of that on the field, so this is just going to help us versus those marches. If we are getting surrounded, if we're getting swarmed, then we are taking that 70 surrounded damage taken reduction 75%, right? Now, up here, the two options here, ready for battle. Your Legion has an 8% chance to launch an extra counterattack when hit with a normal attack. That's what I'm taking. So that's 8 out of every 100 attacks, you're going to launch an extra counterattack, which doesn't sound like much, but as soon as you get 20 Legions hitting you, you know, that's 4 turns, you're proccing all 8%, right? So this will stack up, and this will stack up quite quickly. The other option here is Iron Will, extends duration for buff effects gained through rage skills by 1 second when your Legion is composed entirely of infantry units. But like I said, we have 6 seconds to repop this. That just makes this duration 7 seconds. So I don't personally, so far with playing it, I've been popping it in about, like I said, about 4 to 5 turns. I'm popping a new rage cycle. So that's why I've just skipped getting the Iron Will. Next up for the tree, we're going into the tank. So we've got the overall defense. Then I've gone again into overall march speed, getting that extra 10%. So this would be the only march speed on the tree if you are taking egoism. Then I've gone and taken all conquering here, which just normal attack damage taken reduction, an extra 4% there. So we're at 8% reduction, and then unyielding spirit. When your Legion is hit with a normal attack, they have a 10% chance of gaining tough, reducing hero skill damage taken by 8% for 5 seconds. That's absolutely fantastic. So we're gaining vigor, we're gaining shelter, we're getting tough, you know, we're gaining keen. We're just stacking all of these buffs on our Goresh. Well, only if you have the pair are you gaining the extra HP. The vigor. The other option is your Legion gains shelter when entering battle, increasing their defense by 5% for 10 seconds. But once the battle lasts longer than 10 seconds, you lose this. So that's why I prefer to take the cool-headed here to get that buff stacking and going. And my last point will probably be encouraging dance, just so I can get that extra, you know, 10% chance that my Legion gains 10 extra rage. Just helps with a little bit of the extra rage cycle. But there's definitely, you could take a little bit more overall defense, a little bit more march speed, a little more HP. You can kind of, you know, you could take 1 point here for some more damage reduction. You can kind of put that extra point kind of wherever you see fit there. So that is the talent tree. Next up, we're going to go over who should you pair Goresh with. Now, if you're later in the game, you're watching this later on, you could use Kuma. Kuma's a good pairing with Goresh. You could use the tree guy. Whoever is that tree guy. Magro? Is it Magro? Okay, whatever. The tree guy, you could use the tree guy with Goresh, so that's a couple options there. But now if you're only in Season 1 planning this, Season 2 planning for this, coming into Season 3 here, the number one pairing that I'm going to suggest is the Skogul. They're kind of meant to be together. You get that extra. Your Legion deals additional diffuse counterattack damage every second to all Legions at close range. Close range, mind you, when they launch a normal attack on your Legion. So we do get the Blood Fury there. You know, you've got the infantry physical attack bonus of 20%. You got some more HP stacking. You know, so you've got some good synergies here. You got a little bit of healing factor as well, with the absolute thickest. So, yes, and overall. Here we go. The other one is going to be Madeline. So if you have been investing in Madeline since Season 1, maybe your Madeline's awakened or anything like that, you can also use Madeline to pair with your Goresh, and you've got your Blessed Blade there, giving you that shield, some physical attack bonus, but the big thing is you're just getting that extra counter attack bonus of 15%. And a little bit of extra damage here with that, and some defenses. So your Madeline is absolutely somebody that you can pair with that Goresh. And then Hosk. Hosk is another champion that you can pair with your Goresh. Just right here, we've got counter attack crit rate is increased by 6%, up to a maximum of 30% there. So you've got some crit rate for those counter attacks. You know, you've got all these buffs. You got the vigor, you got the rampage buffs. So I have been seeing this a little bit as well. For epic heroes, I don't know, maybe Bakar, but really you should stick to your Madeline, your Hosk, and of course the #1 pick there that I would recommend, Skogul. I mean, maybe there's a world where you'd run Nika, but you're not going to be very defensive. But she does give you the physical attacks, march speed, and some counter attack there, 20%. So you could run that as well. Next up, we're going to be moving into the artifacts. So the top artifact is obviously going to be the Spirit Bone Torque. So the Spirit Bone Torque gives you that extra defense. And then the ability here, the Mocking Chorus, grants 600 rage points. So you want to pop this right after you've cast your rage ability, just to get that rage cycle going. And up to 5 surrounding enemies are taunted. Now your Legion also gains Shelter and Determination for 30 seconds. So you do get the Shelter buff. So that's going to be kind of the problem, is you're not going to be really stacking that, but when this is off cooldown, you'll still be getting your Shelter anyways. And then Determination, normal attack damage taken, -5% there. We do actually have an additional effect. Infantry units in your Legion deal 10% more counter attack damage. Fantastic. So as you can see, kind of what we're doing with him is we're forcing everyone to attack you, and then you're just dishing out all that counter attack damage. Next up, we got the Greymar's War Hammer. So we've got the hammer here. This one's absolutely fantastic, and the reason for it is because of the active skill here. Damaged legions are stunned for 4 seconds. So if you do exemplar this, I believe it's 6 seconds, if could be mistaken on that, but I believe this gets increased there. And so one thing to note about stunned enemies is they do not deal counterattack damage because they are stunned. So this allows you to stun a bunch of infantry, and then you're just gonna start beating on them. All the legions are gonna start beating on them and not take any counter attack damage during the stun effect. You do have the Sun Flame Hammer as an epic option, but really by Season 3, you've got so many infantry artifacts, you should really be focusing on one of those. So you got the Fang here of Ashkari. So you got that Legion defense. This is one that you're getting in Season 1, Season 2. So you probably rolled this. You've got the Dragon Scale Armor that you could use until you get something better. You've got the Deathless Vines to lock everyone in place. You have Storm Arrows. You get the Blink, so you could blink behind the enemy. So if you coordinate this with a bunch of other infantry units and you blink behind the enemy DPS, there's no escaping you, right? So you do have a lot of options there. You've also got the Mask, which if you've been taunting any behemoths since Season 1, you've probably invested fully into the Mask. So those, you've got so many options. You should really be using a legendary by this stage of the game there. And then finally, we're just going to go over the pet here for you. So this is the Bruin Bear that I rolled day 1. So it's not the best, but it's not the worst. We've got 8 slots here. We've got some decent strength. Endurance, my agility and luck are low, but we got 2 S rank decent stats with an 8 slaughter, and he came with a 1-star quickening there. So now just gonna note here for kind of different build paths there as well is I've done the counter strike. So this is an open field build that I've done here for the Bruin Bear. So this is meant for the open field. This isn't completed as we do need the amber stones. Ooh, we'll just pop that quickly. So the amber, and then we've got the advanced quickening for the agility there, which my agility is pretty low right now, or the advanced counter strike, which is again agility. So those are 2 skills that for 7 amber that you would pop into your pet that you could use as well. So this is an open field build. Now, if you're going in the talent tree, if you're doing rally, let's say you're a rally commander, that kind of stuff, you're going to know that you're going to switch out your counter strike and your intense counter strike. You switch out the counter strike package for your fierce attack package. So you've got your fierce attack, you've got your advanced fierce attack from the amber store. Oh, let's go right here. And then you've got your intense. So you've got your intense fierce attack, your regular fierce attack, and your advanced fierce attack package that you're going to be running there if you're doing rallies. So that's for if you're doing rallies, rallying other cities, strongholds, all that kind of juicy stuff there. That's what you're going to run on your Bruin Bear. So for mine, just going over the skills of what I've picked so far, day 1 is I've got the intense quickening, we've got the fatal bite there, we've got the counter strike package with the counter strike and the intense counter strike, and then I've also got the tooth and claw and the angry roar and blood roar. So that's what we're running to deal our damage. Now, talking with other players so far, testing that have been in Season 3 a bit longer than me, Ogre, him and I were talking last night, and he's saying that his Venom Lizard is outperforming his Bruin Bear. So I don't know, I haven't seen any of the reports, any of the stats, that kind of stuff that's come out. I don't know how he's built the two, but your Venom Lizard is a great alternative pet that you can be running there that you've been building up since Season 1. So don't feel bad that you've been investing everything in the Venomous Lizard so far. You can still run your Venom Lizard, and then, like I said, it might outperform the Bruin Bear in the end. So that's what a bunch of people have been telling me as well. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this little build guide of the absolute jacked. Like, he has definitely been hitting the weights. Such a cool, such an awesome character design, such an awesome hero. For skills there, you're looking at going 5, 5, 5, 1. I think I forgot to mention that in this video. So that's your kind of skill order there as well. You can lock it out, right? Lock it out however you want. But that's what I'm going to look to do, is go 5, 5, 5, 1, and then eventually maybe get him awakened there. So thanks for watching.